Hey guys, Will here with another Will-Ditorial. Sorry I've been away for so long. Been busy with finishing up school and working a little bit more lately, and some friends of mine have had some, free time, and they've been like, hey, you want to do something? And I'm like, sure, why not? So, I am in pretty high demand at the moment, and you'll have to forgive me for clearing my throat, and if my voice doesn't sound 100%, I'm dealing with some allergies, because that's always fun. But anyway, been a while since I've done one of these, so I might be a little bit rusty. But I am here to give you guys an update on Arkham Origins. A lot has happened in the last couple of weeks, according to my sources, or, well, not my sources, but the website that I go to called www.arkhamverse.com, which, is pretty legit, and it's a really cool website, and it gives a lot of information about what's going on. But they haven't really had any major news lately, except for a couple of weeks ago. I think it's been a couple of weeks. Kevin Conroy was at the Dallas Comic-Con, and he came out and he talked about a variety of things. I didn't watch the whole video. It's like 50 minutes long, and I didn't have time to finish all of it. But at the start of the video, he had talked about how he's been away for the last 9 to 10 months working on a new Arkham game, and a lot of people thought he meant Arkham Origins, meaning that he was going to be voicing Batman after all, and it wasn't somebody else that was going to do it, as had been reported. And he said the reason he couldn't talk about it was because he had signed a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that no one was allowed to talk about it. And he said it's a huge game, it's got a large cast and everything. But then, apparently, a representative for Warner Brothers came out and said that it will be a new voice actor, and that Kevin Conroy could likely play a role in the game, but he will not be the principal voice of Batman. And Kevin Conroy went on Twitter, or joined Twitter. Apparently, he's been on Twitter for a while, so I don't know why they said he just joined it when, he's been on there. And he said, and I'm going to read it verbatim here, and his Twitter handle is @TheRealKevinConroy, and it says, "Confusion in Dallas. I am in a new Arkham game coming soon. It is not Arkham Origins, which is coming this fall." And that screenshot came from BatmanNews.com. So what that basically means is that he will not be voicing Batman in Origins, but he will be voicing Batman in an upcoming game that's coming soon. And there's another game. They're also doing, the same studio, Warner Brothers Montreal, is doing a Arkham Origins Blackgate game, which is a mobile game that is kind of separate from the main story, and I do not believe in my heart of hearts that it is that game that he will be voicing Batman for, because that's just ridiculous. That would be stupid. My guess is that what he's referring to is whatever Rocksteady's next project is going to be, because Rocksteady has put some feelers out saying that they're hiring people to work on probably what will be the direct sequel to Arkham City, which Kevin Conroy said he'd been away working on it for the last 9 to 10 months, and that the game has kind of been sort of in pre-development for about a year or so, I think is what he said at the con. So that's what it sounds like to me, and it will probably be something that comes out for the PS4 when they release the next batch of next-generation games and consoles. So, and with Arkham Origins hitting in October of this year, my guess would be that we won't see that direct sequel to Arkham City probably until 2014, maybe 2015. 2014 seems more likely in the fall, because that's generally when they release these games. But the voice actor that will be playing Batman is Roger Craig Smith, who's apparently done a lot of other voices for games, and I don't have his entire, track record in front of me, for lack of a better term, but he's apparently done a lot of stuff. I don't really know too much about him. I would guess that if the studio trusts him, then he's a good choice, and Troy Baker, who was Robin in Arkham City, will be voicing the Joker, and Nolan North, who everybody should know from the Uncharted games, will be back voicing the Penguin, as well as Black Mask, So that's the only really familiar name we're getting from Arkham City. But yeah, there's just been a lot of confusion with this lately, and I haven't seen any more updates from Kevin Conroy about anything. Internet Movie Database lists his next project as Justice League, Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox, which he just completed, where he is voicing Batman and Bruce Wayne. That was just recently completed, but everybody knew about that, so I know it's not that project, and but other than that, there's nothing that is listed after that. But my guess would be that probably in the next several months we might see something, or it might be a good while. But at least from what he said, we know he's been away doing an Arkham game, which, as I said, my guess, I'm probably 95% certain it's probably the sequel to Arkham City. Because I don't think Rocksteady would be putting feelers out to start up a new project unless it was going to be that. So, and they're probably waiting for the next certain batches of the next generation games for the PS4 and the Xbox One to hit, so that way they have time to develop the best game they possibly can, so that when that game comes out, it'll blow everything else that's on the market out of the water. But the other big piece of news is that Paul Dini is not writing the script for this game, which he wrote the one for Asylum. He wrote the script for Origins, and at one point back in 2011, he had mentioned that he would have liked to have done a third game, but he was told that, Rocksteady wasn't going to be doing anything, at the present time, so that he shouldn't, keep his, he should, pursue other endeavors at that point. But, however, he recently tweeted that he kind of hoped he'd be doing another Arkham game in London during the Olympics, especially as he had a good source for the material, I think is. So I'm not really sure if that means, there's kind of some confusion there. I'm a little confused. Basically he's saying that he's not gonna do Origins, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he wouldn't do the sequel to Arkham City. Maybe he's just being coy and keeping things on the down low, because I would imagine that the writers had to sign a non-disclosure act as well, if the actors who are doing the voices did too. Like Kevin Conroy said he had to sign one. I would imagine it would be the same thing for the writers. I think Owen would probably agree with me on that that would be the case. So it could be that he's saying that he really wanted to do one, but there wasn't one that they were working on, and then maybe he's been in seclusion secretly writing the sequel to Arkham City, and a lot of fans have asked him, "Are you going to be doing it?" And he's told them, "No, I'm not involved." So we'll have to see what happens there, because I think at some point in 2011, after Arkham City had dropped, Denny had said that, I think he had said something about he didn't really want to do it because he had sort of completed his story with the Joker and everything, and how the Joker had died, and then we had Harley Quinn's Revenge, the DLC. But I mean, you never say never, so anything is obviously possible. But he did not write Origins, and like I said, my guess, 90% sure, 95% certain that it's probably, if he's going to be involved with one, it would be whatever Rocksteady decides to do for the follow-up to Arkham City. But so it's kind of just basically a wait and see. But I I really don't know what I think about this. I mean, I saw the trailer for the game, the full-length trailer. It was pretty good, and I paid close attention to it, to any subtle nods. Some of the other characters that I heard that we might see besides Deadshot and Deathstroke as assassins, Lady Shiva might be one. And anybody who's well versed in Batman comic book lore knows that Shiva was one of the is sort of I don't really know much about her history. I think it's a very checkered history, but she was believed to be one of the one of the names of one of the possibilities for being Jason Todd's mother when Jason Todd was in Ethiopia searching for his real mother. Shiva's name was one of the names that popped up, and Batman used sodium pentothal to extract the truth out of her, and it was determined she was not one of not Jason's actual biological mother. And then when Bane broke Bruce Wayne's back in the Nightfall storyline, Bruce went to Shiva to retrain himself to, as he said, regain his capacity for violence. Yeah, I just pulled Kevin Conroy's Batman voice there, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it's pretty close. I think Owen probably agrees because he got a smile that made him smile, so I think it's a pretty close voice. But anyway, he went back to Shiva to retrain how to, basically to relearn how to be Batman again, and she taught him a blow called the leopard blow, which was a deadly blow that's supposed to mimic the bite of a leopard, and she set up a series of tests for him. And apparently my phone's going off, but I'm just gonna let it go. So a friend of mine is a big Superman fan, so I set it as his ringtone. So, but anyway, she set up a series of tests with all these different sort of ninja assassins, but in order to make the test happen, she had to kill a leader so that he would send his students after Bruce Wayne, and Bruce, figured it out. He said, you had to kill to get me for the test to take place. And she had told these people that she was wearing a mask that was sort of the spirit of the bat. It was the mask of the Tengu, I think is what it was called. And so she told the student, tell his other students that it was, the mask of the Tengu, the mask of the Bat Warrior that did this to him. And so they all started going after Bruce, and Bruce passed each test, and eventually he had learned everything he needed to learn from Shiva, and then he went back to take the mantle of the Bat back from Jean-Paul Valley, as we all know and are familiar with that story. But Shiva is one of the other characters that will crop up as one of the assassins, and the other one I'm not entirely sure of. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there will be another one, and also Bane will be in the game, and the Joker will be in the game. Don't know what role he'll play, but I'm not entirely positive what his role is going to be, but at least we know he'll be there. And Sir Owen, if he would be so kind as to slide my phone open so that will make that music stop playing.
I feel like we're at Six Flags right now.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, so... Okay, that should put a stop to that. Sorry about that. I had texted one of my friends earlier, and he's just now apparently getting back to me, so... But no. So the Joker will be in the game. Don't really know, like I said, what role he's going to play, but apparently from the screenshots I've seen, this is a much younger version of the Joker. He's got a fuller head of hair, and I'm not really sure what exactly he'll look like. And another character that's confirmed is Anarchy, which I think might be... Anarchy wasn't really an assassin, but I think that might be one of the characters that ends up going after Batman as well. So you've got you've got two assassins that we know of, Deathstroke and Deadshot, that'll be going after Batman, and possibly Shiva and another character, which I think might be Anarchy. I might be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure. So we've got two assassins that we know of, and possibly two others. So we'll just have to wait and see. And I think as the summer goes on, we'll probably learn more about other characters that are going to be revealed, and we'll probably get a plethora of trailers and everything like that. But the first official trailer actually, it was if you saw the teaser trailer, which was 39 seconds, where Batman was fighting Deathstroke, it's basically an extension of that trailer. It's about 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and it really doesn't give, a whole lot about, in terms of plot, except that we know that Deadshot shows up in the trailer and, is apparently using the same style of bullets that he used in Arkham City when he was committing the murders, when you had to track him down in that game. So, and Black Mask is in the trailer, and, so we kind of get the sense that, it was Black Mask that hired Deathstroke and Deadshot to take Batman out. And, it had a lot of action in it. It really did. I'm stuttering over my words a little bit, and I apologize for that. But the trailer had a lot of action in it. There was a lot of, a lot happened. There were, some explosions that happened, and it takes place, I guess, I don't want to say it's a construction site, but there are a lot of crates that were around, and, so it sort of mirrors maybe like a dock or a construction site where this battle is taking place. But it was pretty interesting, and I was trying to listen, because Batman didn't say anything. I was trying to listen to the grunts to see if they were, Kevin Conroy's voice, because I can tell, obviously, because I've got a good ear. And to me, it didn't seem like that they were, but before he had said that he was going to be in a different Arkham game, that was before that was after the trailer had hit. So he is listed apparently under other crew, but that could mean nothing. So that could just kind of be a red herring, so to speak. So, I guess you guys out there can play World's Greatest Detective for a day, like I have been, trying to piece all this together. But I mean, the trailer itself was pretty awesome. I liked it, and the character designs are a little bit, Black Mask looks a little bit like he did in Arkham City. Batman's costume, I'm not really sure that I'm that I'm big on it, because I like I like the costumes from Asylum and City better. But this one is sort of, from what I've heard, is sort of whatever Batman could kind of put together. Kind of think of Nolan's Batman Begins, kind of, except that rather than have the Kevlar, Sir Owen just brought up an image of it. Rather than have the Kevlar like in Begins, though, this is sort of more mesh, sort of more mesh kind of material, sort of, less armor, more sort of mesh and more sort of put together, and that kind of a thing. Sort of almost kind of like the old costumes, the 40s Batman serial, sort of, except better looking, obviously. But it's the costume itself, from what I've heard, to repeat myself again for probably the third time, is more, is not so much, Kevlar armor. It's more so what Bruce Wayne has at his disposal at that time, and it's sort of more mesh protecting the chest piece, and his bat symbol on his chest is sort of more sort of Chris Nolan-esque. It's not splayed out across the chest like it was in Asylum and Arkham City. It's more sort of there, but in sort of a subtle kind of way, and the ears are a little bit off. So it's very much sort of Batman kind of year one, or sort of since the source material for this story is Legends of the Dark Knight, which showed Batman on many of his early adventures and cases. It's more sort of that kind of thing. So the Kevlar will not probably be featured in the story, but since it's Batman, supposed to be Batman early in his career, so it's more sort of mesh tensile kind of put together for the costume. But I mean, I don't have any gripes with it. It looks cool in terms of images and that kind of thing. It's just I'm not really sure how they're going to explain that in a story sense. And I mean, I'm looking at it right now because there's a poster that came out featuring Batman with, you know, certain enemies that he'll be facing, like Deathstroke, Deadshot. I think the Scarecrow's on there, so he might be showing up again. Same design from Arkham City and Arkham Origins, and if Sir Owen will scroll up just a little bit, the quote on the poster says, "Your enemies will define you." So this is obviously a reference to, you know, Batman, his adversaries defining him early in his career, because one of the things that you, in this game that you'll be doing is, you know, battling members of the Rogues Gallery that you haven't really faced before, and the police don't trust you, you know, because they're corrupt, and Jim Gordon is, you know, Captain Gordon, he's not Commissioner Gordon, so you have to sort of form that alliance. So very early in the stages of Batman's career, but again, you know, this video, even though it's covering a variety of these topics, is more so about, yeah, and again, Sir Owen just pulled up some of the action figures they'll be releasing, and, you know, it gives a better shot of the costume, and it's very much, I think Owen can tell and I can tell, mesh kind of material. What do you think?
It looks like what Jaden Smith wore in After Earth.
But you would agree that it's sort of looks like a mesh kind of material almost, not sort of armor plating. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, but I don't know what Owen thinks, but I mean, it doesn't look bad from where I'm sitting, but it just kind of, and I can understand why they're doing it from a story perspective, because Batman doesn't obviously have the resources yet that he will have later, you know, that he'll have later on with Lucius Fox and the R&D department, and now Sir Owen is looking at some figures from Arkham City, looking at the Abramovich twins, Hammer and Sickle, brothers that were conjoined at one point. So one working for Penguin, the other working for the Joker from Arkham City, and Harley Quinn's figure from Arkham City. But
she looks like Chance.
But anyway, you know, this video is covering a variety of topics, but really it was supposed to be about Kevin Conroy saying that, you know, this mix-up, and, you know, sort of accidentally revealing that there will be a fourth Arkham game, but in this case, for us, it would be Arkham 3, because it would be the direct sequel to Arkham City. So that's what really the video was about, but we're covering a lot of different stuff here. But, you know, again, and I keep harping on it, and I keep going back to it, the costume, to me, as far as I'm concerned, looks okay, and I guess Warner Brothers Studios Montreal will come up with a story reason as to why the costume is this way and make it make sense, because, you know, as we saw in Batman Begins, you know, when Bruce Wayne wanted to start, you know, this crusade and build this persona, he went to Lucius Fox, who was, you know, in the Applied Sciences division, and Lucius Fox had been on the board at one point, but Mr. Earl had, you know, moved him to the Applied Sciences division so he couldn't cause any more trouble on the board, and Lucius told him that, you know, there were a lot of prototypes, but none had been in production, and he showed Bruce, you know, the Kevlar utility harness, the magnetic grappling gun, the Nomex survival suit for advanced infantry, and, you know, explained it was tear resistant, and how it would, you know, how it was bulletproof and anything but a straight shot. So my guess is that early, since this is supposed to be sort of the origins of Arkham Asylum, that Batman at this point in his career has sort of made the costume himself, or has had Alfred's help in making the costume, and he doesn't have the resources yet that he'll have later on with Lucius Fox and, you know, his family's company, Wayne Enterprises, and the R&D division and all that, because that stuff hasn't been created yet. And there are also, what's another interesting thing about this story is that this will feature a lot of tension between Batman and Alfred, apparently, because Alfred, even though he's supporting what his master is doing, they also have some conflict with each other that plays throughout the story, because what Alfred thinks what Bruce is doing apparently is very foolish, and that his family's money could be spent doing better things, and so that should make for some interesting tension between Batman and Alfred, who's been Batman's biggest advocate for years. But I think the game is gonna do well. It's too early really to tell right now, because we've only gotten one trailer, a few screenshots. As the summer goes on and it gets closer to the release date, we're probably going to get more. So we don't have any idea what Batman's going to sound like with, Roger Craig Smith. I have no idea what he sounds like. My guess is that he'll probably have to put on some sort of deep, voice that hopefully it will not mirror Kevin Conroy's voice, because I think that would be a mistake, obviously. Troy Baker, I've heard him in Arkham City as Robin, so I know he as Tim Drake and as Robin, so I know he has a deep voice. But it'll be interesting to see where he takes Joker's voice. I don't think it'll be anything like what Mark Hamill did, which, by the way, I haven't heard much about anything he's been doing lately. As far as I know, he is not slated for any Batman projects at this time, although he did say that if something good came his way, that he's not, technically he hasn't retired from the role of the Joker. He's just said that, the next thing he wants to do that's Joker related has to be really, really good for him to do it again, which I can understand that, because obviously he would want to go out on a high note. The next thing he has on his list is, Star Wars Episode 7, which is in the early stages of pre-production, so it might be a while before we hear him as the Joker again, but I'm not going to rule it out, because I know that he loves that character too much. But, I'm sure Sir Owen is happy that not once in this video have I said a curse word, at least not yet. So, however, the next video that comes up, there will probably be plenty. So
might have to wait for a week for that one, folks.
Yeah, you might have to wait a week for that one, or you might see it today. It depends, but no. Like I said, there was just so much confusion with Conroy's statement that a lot of people made the assumption, myself included, that he meant Arkham Origins, and like any giddy fanboy, I jumped up and down and said, finally, Warner Brothers is not fucking this up. Oh, there it was. That was the first one. So that they weren't, fucking this up and messing with it, because they just have a tendency to do that kind of thing. But more on that, later. So hopefully the game will meet expectations. From what I've seen, it has, or it looks like it will. Not it has, but it looks like it definitely looks like it will meet the necessary expectations. I don't know for sure. I'm not a mind reader. I can't see into the future, but. And, after everything with the Dark Knight trilogy, my faith in Warner Brothers has kind of been restored, and, they've got, but, sometimes they just do these things that makes me want to, bang my head against a wall repeatedly until, and, but again, more on that in the next video, because I'm going to touch on that a lot, and it's going to be mighty, mighty interesting. But no, I will still definitely get Arkham Origins, even if Kevin Conroy does not play a prominent role. And like I said, I was telling Owen about this earlier, that my guess would be that whatever Kevin Conroy's been away working on for the last 9 to 10 months is Batman related, and because Rocksteady had even Arkhamverse even showed a sort of like a crib sheet saying that Rocksteady has been hiring people for certain specific jobs, which obviously is related to whatever the next project is. My guess would be that, and like I said, I was telling Owen about this earlier, is that Kevin Conroy has been away working on the next Batman game, because he said he's been away for 9 to 10 months, but it will probably be for the next generation consoles, meaning the PS4 and the Xbox One, because those are slated to, they've already been announced, they're slated to come out at some point. I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but they are slated to come out, and there's already a slew of, I saw somewhere today, Xbox already has 15 titles that are ready to drop when that comes out. So my guess is that whatever Rocksteady's going to be working on, or has been working on, because I think Kevin Conroy said in the video that they've kind of known for a year what they were going to do and where they were going to take it, and it's kind of sort of like very early stages of pre-production have been going on for a year for development of the game. Because Conroy himself said it was it's a massive game with a huge cast and everything, so it obviously expands a lot of horizons. But my guess is that with Arkham Origins dropping, in the fall of 2013, like I had mentioned earlier, on October 25th, that we won't see whatever Rocksteady is going to do that's Batman related. We won't see that, fourth Arkham game that would be the direct sequel to Arkham City until probably 2014, 2015. My guess would probably be 2014 is more likely in the fall, because that's when these games tend to come out, because a spring 2014 release for a Batman game just doesn't make sense to me, and a summer release doesn't make sense either, because the summer is usually when they start gearing up the promotional, junket and start rolling out the trailers and all of the other stuff, all of the screenshots and all that to sort of, whet our appetites a little bit and keep us, salivating over, oh, look, it's going to be, the next one's coming out here. So I would say probably 2014 in the fall, because it wouldn't make sense to me for Arkham Origins to come out and then all of a sudden Rocksteady says, oh, but wait, we've got one that's coming out too, and then all of a sudden, around Christmas we get Rocksteady's Batman game when Arkham Origins has only been out for 2 months, because I think Warner Brothers is probably banking on releasing it, when they release it, people buying it for the Christmas season. That would since by that point the PlayStation 4 still won't be out yet, and this will be the sort of maybe the last slew of PS3 games that come out. I think they're banking on it, on a lot of people buying the game for the Christmas season. I'll get it obviously beforehand, but because I'm not going to wait that long. But that would be my guess. And Warner Brothers does a lot of stupid things, but at least they're smart enough to say, hey, let's not have two games going at the same time, because that's just too much confusion, and it's just, granted they make a lot of money off of that, but it's just too much confusion, too much preparation time, and it's just two games going at the same time seems a little superfluous to me. So my guess is Arkham 4, or rather Arkham 3, if you want to call it that, since it would be the direct continuation to Arkham City, will be out in the fall of 2014, which I know seems like a long way away, but really, it's really not. And who knows, after Arkham Origins has been out for a few months, we might start seeing, ideas for, or not ideas, but we might be seeing, some early teaser trailers or some early snippets of news for Arkham 4. And there goes my phone again, my aunt texting me. But we might be seeing early pieces of news for Arkham 4 in maybe January of 2014, or, in the summer of 2014, as after Arkham Origins has been out for a few months. So, it's really hard to tell. Nothing seems to be really set in stone right now, except for the release date of the game of Arkham Origins, October 25th, some of the voice cast, some of the characters. Nothing else really seems to be set in stone in terms of what Rocksteady is doing and what Kevin Conroy has been away doing for the last 9 to 10 months, because an animated feature, these DCU animated movies with Warner Brothers, don't take 9 to 10 months to produce. I know that much. I do know that. They don't take that long. That's a period of weeks, because you're working with other actors in that, and you're not just in a booth, for 4-hour blocks at a time recording dialogue. Those DCU animated movies don't take that long. So, but again, it's just speculation. I could be totally wrong with everything I'm saying, and I may not. And if that's the case, then it wouldn't be the first time. But I think I'm pretty much pretty well versed enough in Batman, in the Batman mythos and lore to know what I'm doing, to know what I'm talking about. So, and plus I've just followed the character for so long that, you know, it's kind of like slipping on an old pair of shoes. You know, I know him so well, and know the character so well, and know how things should work, that, you know, it's kind of like never leaving the shop almost. So, and I'm just, you know, very passionate about the character, and, you know, I don't want it to get, you know, like a lot of hardcore fans, I don't want it to get screwed up. So, you know, but again, it's all speculation. It's all, you know, the only thing that we know of is that October 25th, 2013 is when the game drops. We know some of the principal voice cast. We've gotten some screen caps. My guess would be there hasn't really been any big news in a while. My guess would be probably maybe this coming week or the week after we'll be getting some more, you know, big news about other characters, or it'll probably be a while before we get another trailer, since we got such a... And I would expect this trailer to probably be shorter than the one before, maybe somewhere around 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Not probably like 4 minutes and 50 seconds like the first one was, but we'll probably be getting some more news about the game in the coming weeks and in the coming months. And once September hits, though, be prepared, because there's probably going to be a whole hell of a lot of news about it coming out. Maybe I don't want to say maybe every day by that point, but probably every week we'll be getting something, that, without giving too much away, because obviously Warner's doesn't want to give too much away about the project, which, you know, makes sense. But anyway, so that's what's going on the Arkham Origins front. When I know more, I'll be sure to let you guys know. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of these videos. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit more well informed than what these sources have been, but it's not their fault. It's, you know, Warner Brothers likes to play these mind games with people. So, you know, because they're fucking stupid, but whatever. I don't know why, but they just are. But some exciting news coming up for you guys. I have talked it over with Sir Owen, and I am going to be doing a retrospective at some point about the Batman the Animated Series. And I'm talking from Batman the Animated Series all the way to Justice League Unlimited. I'll be giving, you'll probably see some not top 10, but top 20 videos, and I'll be getting opinions from AJ and Sir Owen about, you know, the series as a whole, and certain episodes, and certain stories that they liked, and we'll probably agree to disagree. So, you know, my list may not be the same as their list. You know, it will probably vary and be very, very different. But it will cover everything from, you know, the animated series in 1992 to the New Adventures of Batman, Batman Beyond, which I'll probably have to maybe pick specific certain episodes with that after covering, you know, seasons 1 and seasons 2. You know, season 3 is sort of a bit of a mixed bag, and I'll have to rewatch all of season 3 online again, since my DVD set, the discs got, you know, messed up because Amazon sucks. But, you know, fuck you guys, by the way.
Amazon rant coming in the near future.
But anyway, and then Justice League Unlimited might be a little bit more difficult, because Batman's not featured as prominently in a lot of the episodes, because there were so many other characters that they had to throw in. But Justice League, he's featured in a lot more of the episodes in that series. And there were only 2 seasons of the Justice League, if memory serves me right. And there were 2 of Justice League Unlimited, so it'll probably focus more on Justice League than Justice League Unlimited. And I got a call from Mr. Flashback just not long, a couple days ago, saying that he will be back shortly to review two films that he's not looking forward to reviewing, and it's
cat out of the bag.
And it's possible that maybe he might have some things to say about the animated series as well at some point. So, not really completely positive. I'll have to discuss that with him. But he will be back soon with some brand new stuff for you guys. So don't worry if you've missed him, because I personally haven't missed him, because he. Sometimes he keeps me up all night saying, "Oh, I've got this idea. Oh, I've got that idea. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do that." And I'm just like
900 text messages every day.
And I'm just like, "That's great. I'd like to go to sleep now, if you don't mind." So, and then he, curses at me and hangs up. So, but he'll be back soon with some new stuff for you guys. And like I said, if I can talk to him long enough and get him to not rant and rave about something, I'll discuss about him possibly talking about Batman the Animated Series for you guys too. But you'll definitely be getting it from me, because to me it's always been the quintessential Bat animated cartoon series. And it's a shame that, there's nothing like it on television anymore these days, because it's really a lost art in terms of animation. So, and it's not all CGI like everything is now. So, but that's what's coming up, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I ranted a lot about and repeated myself a lot at certain points in the video. I told you I might be a little rusty, but hopefully I won't be as busy, so I'll be able to get over here and do these, as much as I can more often. And if not, then, that's how life is sometimes. But hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.